Okay, that's working. So here we are, finally the sixth and last, essentially the last tutorial video for this FSS conversion. This is the last part. We put in the DMD. I'm just going to complete though. I forgot something. I forgot two things in the previous video, which was the day and night cycle video. I forgot to do two things. One, I said in the video that I would fix the background. So we're going to do that first. We're going to go into the backdrop here. Okay, Simpson Stern. So we're going to go Image Manager. We're going to import this into Photoshop. We're going to fix these textures. So export that. Yes. Okay. I'll leave that like that for now. We are opening Photoshop. Sort that by this. Bring Photoshop here. Throw that in there. This is a simple job. We grab the background here, and we're gonna edit, transform. No, image, adjust, levels, and we're just going to darken everything up. Actually, what is that doing there? Has nothing to do with The Simpsons. Yeah, well, you know, that's pinball, eh? You know, they always throw boobs in there, so I guess that's what that's coming from there. No, we're not going to do that adjustment. We're going to exposure. Probably going to give us a better result. Yeah. There we go. So we bring that one down a little because it was way too intense anyway. And the opposite for the bottom. Edit, image, adjust, exposure, and we're going to bring that up. I adjust the gamma and exposure. I go the opposite direction. And we're going to do that, and we're going to throw one more little thing in here. We're going to make a duplicate of this layer because it's locked. So duplicate that layer, trash this one. I'm just going to put a transition effect in here, just so it doesn't go all the way to the edge. I'm going to throw in, make a new layer here. I'm going to fill it with black because I'm going to make a mask. And then I'm going to fill, but it's going to be a gradient, and it's going to be the circular gradient, not the others. And not only that, it has to show those checkerboards. If it doesn't show a checkerboard, it's going to fill the entire screen, the entire area, and that's what we're looking for. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour, first of all, this black in here, like that. And then I'm going to do the gradient. And so I start from the middle, and I'm going to do right up to the edge. Like that. Oh, no, that didn't work. Flip that. That should work now. There. Oh, I put, yes. Could have been a little better than that. The transition's too big. Okay, that's better. But the edges here, I'm going to go, since the middle is, I want a little more than that. There we go. That's it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to select all. If I hadn't put the transition here, it would actually have filled, what would it have done? Okay, yeah, okay, in the mask it's not so bad, but let's say I had multiples of these circles all over the place, it would actually have wiped out the other ones, okay? But since I have a transition to, I have an alpha, they say basically it's an alpha channel added, I can add multiple circles. I'll just give you an example there, see? If I didn't have that, it would have just wiped out this other large circle I had done, and to replace it with itself. Okay, so I'm going to grab all that, select all, edit, copy. I don't want to talk too much about what I'm doing here because it wasn't part of this DMD, but I forgot to do it, so edit, copy. Okay, I can erase that. Channel, oops. I get the, you have to add the mask channel. and select that and edit paste. Boom. There we go. So it'll be like that. I maybe will adjust the mask a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to reduce the black a lot more. Adjustments, exposure, we're going to drive up. I mean, it's the backglass, right? It's not, it doesn't need to be really smooth. Okay, so now I'm going to select all that. All, copy, hide that, and repaste on top. Now it's going to show up more. Yeah, okay. So this is, the reason I'm doing this is because I don't like the background showing up too much. I don't mind a little light showing up in the back of the table. It makes it look a little more interesting and less harsh and dark. But I don't want it to, you know, become the central part of what's going on. So I'm going to save that as PNG. Simpsons, and it's going to ask me to replace. Yes. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to save this. I'll see what it, before I even, I didn't say interlaced. No, I didn't want interlaced. I'll save as PNG. I didn't know it was doing that by default. None. Okay, so there's that. I'm not going to save it. I'm not going to save this file. I'm just going to make sure that it's okay first. I want to see the background, so background, and then we're going to replace it. So table, image manager. Maybe I should, I'm just going to import a new, yeah, make a, so it doesn't affect the desktop version. I'll just call it string 2 and select that one. There we go. Yeah, so it's just going to be stern 2, so stern 2. Ching. There it is. So let's have a look when we turn up the lighting on the table here. See how the background looks. Yeah, okay. It could have been a little more. I've shown just a little more here, but at least now you do see the. Hold on, maybe I'll remove that. We'll see what it looks without it. How's that? Duplicate this layer. Trash the mask. The mask was maybe a bad idea. Hide that. There we go. So let's try this. Save as. Yes. Okay. So I've got a little bit of time because the DMD is actually going to take like 5 minutes. If that. It's a cut and paste and it's done. Let's put that texture in the background. This is turning into a table image manager. It's turning into a day-night video, not yeah. So here, re-import. Okay. So let's try play. Let's see what it looks like first. With the Simpsons characters diminish, it might actually look not too bad. Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah, because now these side areas, they're a little more shaded now. They're not as bright. Like the table is definitely brighter than the background. Before it was like almost the reverse. This was just way too intense. That doesn't look too bad. But I mean I've got it really set pretty high here. I mean, you know, just drag it to half. Anything below that is probably not even going to show up. So we'll see what it's like here. If it's consistent, I'll keep that. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to complain about that. I would have made it maybe reverse the and to have a nice bright area and then diminish down, but still go right to the edge, just so it's a little bit of lighting in behind the table there. So crank it back down here. And the other thing was it kind of bamboozled me on the last video because I'd never had the situation before. And so we'll deal with it right at night. And that was this backglass, that it's much more intense than the table. And I was looking at the code, I was wondering what the heck I would do. I dropped down the dark, the albedo texture. I dropped the color down to almost next to 0. It's not 0, but it's almost 0. And it still didn't do what I was hoping. So this is what you're supposed to do. Normally, in my previous, I've already done 70 tables converted to day and night abilities, and I've never ever in any of them run into this problem where the bright aspect of the backglass was more intense and the dark was fine. It's always been the reverse, whereas the dark portion of the backglass is too dark and I have to intensify it. Here's the reverse. I have to diminish the intensity of the bright part. So it's actually the same thing. If I was messing around with the dark here, I would, and I wanted to make it more intense, I would boost this value. Okay, this is the day and night slider value. And so I would boost it by 4, and so I would use data from further up the chain in the array. So what we're going to do, it's the reverse here. We are going to apply the same thing to that backglass. We'll try to drive it up to 4. If it's too dark, then we'll pull it back. All I do here is I do this. I do not do the div values. Okay, just these are the F values down and R values down. In the backglass, it's R values up and F value up. So, but I never apply an increment to the div values. So there we go. And now it's going to be definitely darker from get-go at that setting. So you're stuck now. You've done a major change. And so you have to go and test that across the board. See, now it's a lot less intense. It's a little more balanced. I'm going to, wait a minute, what am I going to do? I'm going to see what it looks like at the lowest setting. It might be too dark. Just to make sure that it's a balance, but it has to be balanced across all the lighting, the different various lighting models, intensities. Well, I mean, it's less, for sure. Yeah, no, when the table's lit, it's fine. Yep. And same thing goes with when it's brighter. The thing is now I have to adjust the data, and this is what I wanted to show. When you do this, whether you're playing around with the albedo texture and you're shifting it, yeah, that's good. It's fine. Yep, I'm happy with that. When you're messing around with the albedo texture or this particular case, I had to boost, but that's sort of negative boost because it's diminishing its intensity, whereas in the dark it's actually increasing its intensity. No, actually, it is increasing its intensity. Now you have to modify the data. So the usual is what I do is I do this. I just copy the last 4 rows. Since I boosted it by 4, I copy 4 additional rows into the R, G, and B values up. Actually, sorry, I'm going in down. If it was dark, it would be the other one, but it's this. So I'm going to grab the last 3 values here and add a 4th row. because it's this data that it's using to do the highlights. And then it would be up if I was messing around with the albedo texture, so it would be up, but we are messing around with the high value, so it's down. So we have to extend the data set here. So all I do is by extending, I add 4 more records of that, and that's it. There'll be an extra one if I was dealing with the dark, which is there's R value and then MVF add additionally, but I don't have that in the high texture. So there we go. So now we won't get an error when we go up to the really high intensities here. Like if I brought it up to here, I would get an error if I had not extended that data. So we're going to look at it here. We already did. So never mind that. All right. And that's it. So that completes the day and night cycle stuff that I missed in the 4th video. The 4th video? This is the 5th video. I'm getting all confused now. And now we're going to do the DMD. And that's a joke. You just grab the code here, the code file, open that up. We're going to first copy this chunk. Normally it doesn't, sometimes it has it. If it doesn't have it, then you're going to have to add it. It has to be called prior to just the line right under. It has to be called before the load VPM, so you put it here or up top, whatever. And then ramps are visible, so no issue there. Sometimes the ramps get turned off, so we'll turn them back on. So we're going to go into the init, their table init. We are going to do hidden, yes. And then we're going to copy over the data, the example from the VPX file. So DMD, yes, there, good. Grab this, Control C, minimize that, and just go edit paste. It'll be somewhere in the screen there. Edit paste. Okay, so we move that into place. And it's almost the right size. Almost. Anyway, it's already got the right name and it's already got the right settings, so you don't need to change that. That has to be square because actually move that by 2 positions. Okay, so this is all set properly. You don't even need to touch it. You do, though, need to modify the code. So you need to enable that. Or you wouldn't even see the DMD. It'd be somewhere else. And then we're going to tweak it. We don't know if that's going to be the right value. All right, so let's fire it up. So the DMD has obviously disappeared from here and has shown up where it's supposed to be. And it's already transparent and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a little high. So now we're going to adjust that value. So minus 280. It's either 280 or 290. I avoid modifying it in editor. What? Up, minus. Ooh, it was supposed to be plus. I'm supposed to be adding that value. So Control Z. 30. Try 20 more. Yes, I was going the wrong direction. I try to avoid moving them in editor. I try to place them properly in the editor and then tweak the values, because otherwise it would get kind of weird and messy, especially in the editor. It would look like, why is that so high up or low? It just needed 35. Could be 10. Could be forward through the 340 there. We'll try that again. F5. So good news. The next set of videos I'm going to be doing, I mean, besides the finishing up the example EMs and solid state videos, I'm going to be making a new set of videos. Yeah, it's they're pretty good. I think I can bring it down. I could have added that full 10, so let's just add that full 10. Okay, so let's make this 40. There we go. That'll be perfect. And we're going to drive, we're going to close that other file. We don't need it anymore. Hey, VP didn't crash. Yay! We're going to drag that down to there and see what it looks like. Anyway, I will be making another set of videos, and this is videos for my FSS build. Yeah, I'm making an FSS build table upright. Also, it's going to be a mixed main machine. I just ordered my iPack today. Some 20 so colored or LED buttons, and 2 more extra joysticks because I'm a very big fan of Robotron and Smash TV. So I want to be able to play Smash TV with my son. And so to do that, you need 4 joysticks. It's a 2 joystick. It's Robotron on friggin' drugs. But anyway, speaking of Robotron, I loved Robotron. I actually rolled Robotron. Yeah, that took like, I think, 3 hours of my life on 1 quarter. It was a worthwhile investment. Yeah, I rolled Robotron in my younger days. I love that game. I love the Williams video games at that area. I loved not Defender, but Stargate. Loved Stargate. Defender was great, but Stargate was just phenomenal. I loved Stargate, and my favorite, obviously, Robotron, and then Smash TV. So let's try the table. It's done. We completed this tutorial series on how to convert a regular FS desktop version table to FSS. It's simple. I mean, if you look at all the time of these videos and you accumulated them together, minus my blah blah, minus the first video doesn't count because it really is not showing anything. You would see that it probably amounts to about 2 hours of work. That's based on the videos, but it's actually less work than that, you know, when it's easy. Okay, if you don't get too many problems, you don't run into too many issues, it's 2 hours. That's, you know, maximum. You know, I've had some that have taken almost an entire day to fix, you know, and that's actually the Photoshop work. It's not really doing the modification in the table in Visual Pinball. It's really the Photoshop work that needs to be done. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's the last video for this series. This table is done. It's my 100th table. Woohoo! I'll be doing 2 more tables so that I can add the 2 final videos to show how you deal with solid state and how the specifics of solid state and the specific implementation to do a reel. Not a real example, a drum reel in EM machine. Anyway, that's it. That's it for this table, and I'll be giving it out when Toxie has completed the little fix we need in Visual Pinball, so we can adjust the aspect ratios of these tables. Because, like I said, I've already got 70 of these converted to day and night, and I need to adjust so that they play properly in portrait mode, so that we don't have like fat pinball tables. It's nice to be fat, but when we're talking about a pinball, the pinball table can't be fat. So no wide pinball tables. And so Toxie's working on that. Thank you, Toxie. Awesome. And when he has that done, I'll be redistributing all the tables, the 100 tables, with day and night. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.